Y'all need a review?
Hey guys, what's going on? We just saw Flight Risk. I'm gonna say I think this is one of the best movies of 2025 so far.
I agree.
But if you like this kind of stuff, and by this kind of stuff, it's extremely specific. Tonally ambiguous movies like Trap. Trap was fucking awesome last year. Everything kind of rode that fine line where like you don't know if you should laugh and be serious.
What the hell are you doing out here? Oh, sorry. I just needed some air. There was an accident in the kitchen. I freaked out. A friend got burned.
This movie does that. It does that pretty well. I would say the acting overall is really good. Like, I think this is one of Mark Wahlberg's most interesting roles.
And unhinged roles, definitely.
Yeah, most unhinged. He is so weird, but it's like in a Marky Mark kind of way.
Like this, he's got that in him. Mark's got the madman in him.
It's a mixture of like him being really awkward and like doing funny stuff, but then being super dark.
Yeah.
And that is not something I expected from Mel Gibson at all.
No,
it's not.
yeah.
Topher Grace is kind of like I would say like the kind of comedic character.
The like, the funny Marvel quip guy. Like,
yeah. So he has some funny like lines. People might find it kind of cringe. It happens a lot, but I think it's so ridiculous that like at that point. I think it's funny
because like of the format of the movie. It's just three people locked inside a small plane and he's making Marvel quips the whole time.
Yes, and the main actress, Michelle
Dockery?
Dockery, yes.
From like Downton Abbey.
She was in Downton Abbey. I haven't seen her in that. I don't think I've seen her in anything else. She was really, really good.
She carried the emotional point.
Carried the emotional point. Yeah, I was gonna say the whole movie, but in general, everyone does their thing. Like, they have their niche.
Like
right?
the movie wouldn't work as like as a story you could like take somewhat seriously without her. Like she carries she does a good job at like grounding the whole movie.
Yeah. Basically, like Topher Grace is a government witness. When he kind of gets involved with like I guess like some mafia guy or no, it's
more spoilers to go into it, I guess. But yeah.
So spoilers from this point on. Yeah, and she's like a marshal who's like transporting him from one place to another. So they get someone on a private plane, because they just tracked him down in like some part of the wilderness in like Alaska, I guess.
Yeah.
But the pilot was compromised, I assume killed by Mark Wahlberg, who was working for that crime boss, and you kind of figure it out slowly. But like the movie is kind of I don't want to say. It's kind of like a whodunit in some sense because it's not just like that's a twist and you figure out that early on, but then there's like other twists
three
about
more
like,
twists.
About like who's on the inside, in like the kind of up in the higher ups with like the U.S. CIA, FBI kind of system. Who knows what? How did they know about her background or whatever? And so that definitely kept it on edge, and for a whole movie shot in one location like the Cessna, I thought it might kind of be slow at some parts, and it was, but not many parts. Like it's moving pretty fast.
It dragged a little in the middle, but like for the most part, like for what it's worth, I thought it was pretty like
but I think because it's tonally weird, I think most people might not. I don't know. They might not.
I think a lot of people like actually hate the movie because it's like this guy's doing cringe Marvel quips the whole time. It's really low budget. There's like a really low budget CGI moves in the first like 5 minutes of the movie. Yeah, it looks like ass. And like Mark Wahlberg is just like basically an unhinged Joker, like giving like sexual harassment from the back of the plane.
And it is basically. I don't think it's implied. I think it basically said that he like cut up like and like mutilated.
He ate the eyes of the old pilot.
Like
shit.
He's like the weirdest, like, and
he's like straight up like Hannibal the Cannibal in a way, but he's working for like the mob kind of like.
And there's even a scene where he fucking like he breaks his thumb and like degloves his hand so he can get it out of like, and it was great. And I think
they also established early on that he doesn't care about dying. He's like,
which is it's insane. It's so funny. It's so weird because he's such a weird like this guy who's like kind of like I would say typical like Josh Hartnett, like okay, he used to be a heartthrob a long time ago, play these cool guy roles, but now he's like fucking really just awkward. I think that's great. I think that alone is like it's I don't know. It could be genius on Mel Gibson's part.
It is like I did not expect this movie from Mel Gibson. Like it is just very goofy. It's like again, it's like almost Shyamalan-esque.
There's one long shot where he's like they're tied up after they already kind of figured him out, and he's looking at the pilot. He's like just looking them like dead on as they're flying, and it's like super long, and it's going right up to him. It was so good because it was so awkward. It was so awkward. And it happens right after he does like, y'all need a pilot, like all this funny stuff. And that's why it's like tonally, it's just back and forth. With the tone, but it's so fucking good. We look back before we give Trap an 8.
Well, I was actually going to talk about that. I think I'm going to have to do the first Alabaster Effect review revision. I'm going to have to revise my Trap score to a 10 so I can give this movie an 8. Yeah.
So you're giving Trap a 10.
I'm revising it to a 10
Okay.
because like it's a movie that's stuck with me. It's been like what, half a year longer since Trap came out, and like it's just stuck with me. Revising it to a 10. I gave Red One a 10. I gave Morbius a posthumous 10. I have to give Trap a 10. This movie, I'm giving it an 8. It doesn't. I wouldn't say it's as good as Trap in the whole totally inconsistent, and like I did like Josh Hartnett's like Joker a little bit better, but like this movie, like Mark Wahlberg is like, he does the Kubrick stares. He jokers the fuck out.
Yes.
For like 80% of the movie, he's like just in the back of the plane, like sexually harassing the rest of the cast in a really unhinged way.
He attacks him multiple times.
Yes, I know. He attacks him multiple times and then immediately
And
gets
keeps
put
getting
down.
restrained, and he comes back.
He comes back a bunch of times. It's really good.
And there's one scene where, like, after he's like restrained, kind of how he is in the trailer, and like, you know, she's fighting him and hitting him, and he's like, "You're turning me on." Yeah. I'm gonna do him bad. I'm gonna say Trap a 10. I'm gonna revise all Trap a 10.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this one a 9. I'm gonna say
9.
9.
Okay.
Yes, because these movies don't come
No,
around.
you're right.
This kind of weird genre is so.
No, you're right.
I don't know. Comment on the movies like this. But
No,
like,
no, you're right. I'm revising
8.5.
8.5. I'm revising it to 8.5. Yes.
We need to, you know, worship them when we do get them.
No, that's true.
Because the stars align so well.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, no, it's great. Please do go watch Flight Risk.
If any of this sounds remotely funny to you, if you want to hear Topher Grace give like cringe Marvel quips, so Mark Wahlberg jokers the fuck out in the background for the whole movie.
Yeah.
While they're all enclosed in a small room together, that just go see it. Go see it.
Please, yeah, okay.